What's up, everyone? Rodney here, Daily CHRONIClez, y'all. I wanted to make a personal video this week. I had guests lined up. Thank you, Sarah, our previous guest for this week, for stepping aside and really allowing me to do this. Sorry, y'all, I'm choked up. You know, let's get right down to it. How do you talk about a time when a light goes out? How can you put something so meaningful into words? Truth is, you can't. Even though I'm sitting here trying, I'm never going to come close. You know, for some, Zahra was more than a light. She was a higher fire of life. While we only knew each other a short time, I will always remember the kindness, the levity of kindness that she showed me in such that short time. She didn't have to do that, but she did. And that's the same kind of compassion that we need to relearn again in some cases. Not, for everyone, I'll admit, but that's the point. It's not about an individual. It's about a community. And that is everything that she loved. I won't tell you that I was, kept a dry eye through this whole time. I did not. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And, even now when I record this, what do you do? What do you do when you get knocked back down with something like this? This is heavy, man. It's hard to talk about mental health these days, but she would want me to, and we're always going to miss her. You can't replace that. You can't find the right words. You can't replace that. And I don't mean to. Nope. I don't. I absolutely do not want to replace that kind of light in my life. Instead, I hope that we can see these pyre fires wherever my good friend Zahra may be. It's interesting because one of the inside jokes that her and I shared was the fact that she teased me about her name. I was only trying to enunciate it right, and and at least be respectful in that way. My mama taught me right. She teased me and teased me and teased me, y'all. I don't mind that at all. But that's one argument. That's one she gets to win. She gets to keep at. I don't mind losing that one. That's the truth. That's the truth. But it was so much more than a name. There was a meaning behind it. And I know maybe some of what I said was just kind of eye-rolly. That's the truth. It might be, it's just me, man. But that's how impactful and meaningful and grateful I was to have known her in the very short time that I did. With that, I definitely want to, kind of look back to the things that we did do over time. Things that we were accomplished with her help. I think only then are we able to realize the levity of the situation as she was trying to show. And maybe that's a good lesson to take away from, having known her. Sorry. So I thought it only fitting to play this week's episode. Just play, to definitely go back and play her episode. Sorry, it's still messing me up, man. I'm telling you. I think it's only fair and fitting that we revisit the episode. So, without any other further ado, y'all, here it is. Zahra Abbas, Daily Chronicles. Love y'all.
Hi, people. What's up? I'm Chef Rodney117, the host of the most. Little known fact: while my intro song is playing, I'm usually dancing behind the scenes. So whoever we have on as a guest usually looks at that and laughs hysterically. Because let's face it, I'm white and I have no clue what I'm doing. Without that, guys, how's it going? How's it going? Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Chronicles. Today, y'all, I'm sitting and chopping it up with the DNC and precinct delegate. To top it off, she's the vice chair of the MDP Cannabis Caucus. We'll get into what that is a little bit more later. Okay. She's the vice president of the Motor City Normal Organization, secretary of Youth Democrats of Michigan. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Now, if that weren't enough for you, she's also an epileptic, and she's also had brain surgery. If that weren't enough for you, she's been a speaker, a guest speaker, and just numerous guests in several podcasts, including this one, covering issues such as environmental stuff, cannabis, criminal justice reform, healthcare for young voters, and all those other concerns. I don't think that there's a better, you know, qualified individual for me to sit across from. I mean, honestly, it's a huge honor. It's a huge honor. I've got so many questions and so many comments. She's going to fire right back to me, you guys. She's going to fire right back to me. But without any other further ado, I give you Miss Zahra herself. See, I played my own clap track to intro you, but really it was for me for actually getting your name pronounced right, but I didn't do it. But I was really close. I was really
you
close.
were. You were.
It's written behind me, isn't it? It's behind you, isn't it?
Yeah. So behind me, it's how it's written in Arabic.
That's an awesome language. I will tell you though, it looks like overcooked SpaghettiOs. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
You compare everything to food. That's
I do. I try. But no, again, thank you for coming on the show today. Seriously,
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking at, all of these accomplishments at you at the age of, 34 years young. All of these things. Come on, what's the secret to this?
Cannabis.
Good. I'm really happy that. What's up, Bring Jerk Entertainment? Hey, y'all, I checked out their podcast going on. It's every morning. I want to say at 11 o'clock or so. Definitely go check them out. Scott, what up, fam? How you doing? Scott makes some of the best edibles in mid-Michigan, let me tell you, hands down. Robert Luke shouting out, saying what's up. Kaleem Cole, good morning, y'all. How you doing? I've got a couple of announcements before we get into the W's. The W's are the who, what, when, where, why of who you are, where you've come from, and honestly, kind of where you're going. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Really, really simple. They're opinionated answers. There's no right or wrong answers. If you're wrong, I will let you know you're wrong. I'm kidding. No one's ever been wrong since we've been doing it. But before we get into that, I do want to point out this snazzy little hat I'm wearing, y'all. I got this at mycannamerch.com. Definitely go check them out. Tell them Chef Rodney 117 sent you. They actually sent me a neat little bag, y'all. Like, this is pretty cool. Like, you can put your weed in here, And then some cup koozies. They're like, we sent you beer koozies. It's like, yeah, I don't drink beer, but nice can of Coca-Cola or something in there. And it says, I'd rather be smoking weed. Well, then do it. How is that issue? Why? Then just do it. You know what I mean? So it's like keychains, couple lighters. Yeah, they really hooked your boy up. But that's not important. What's important is Ms. You. Can I just get away with calling you Miss ZZ? Like, that's going to be helpful for me.
Yeah, you tried to say my name, so you're allowed to use the nickname. Yeah.
That and that's fine. But I'm still going to try and say your name. If I butcher it, then we'll just roll into it. But I want to hear about kind of where you came from, because let's face it, it hasn't been easy, has it?
No.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, I just want to know, where did you come? Like, tell me where it came from.
So, I mean, for me, like, cannabis was I started with cannabis because of my health.
Mm-hmm.
To help control my seizures. We had tried multiple things to control it. I had a device implant. I went through brain surgery, like you said earlier, and
Right.
I was on daily medications. And cannabis was one of my last options before another brain surgery to try, but it wasn't easy because I was very, very anti-cannabis. And only started it to prove that it won't work and I'll get another brain surgery.
Fair enough. So how did you feel when you were like, well, wait a minute. Did you have that epiphany where you were like, hey, it's working?
Oh yeah. I mean, initially I didn't believe it because I was still on all the pharmaceuticals, right. And I had just started a new, like right before starting the cannabis, I had started a new medicine. And when my seizures subsided and they stopped, I was like, it has to be that new medicine. There was no way
Right.
I would believe it was the cannabis because, like I said, I was very anti-cannabis and just started it to prove that it would not work. But I continued with it for a few months because I was, because my dad wanted me to try it, as much as I would
Right.
try a new medication like the same course. So I was on it for a few months. And then when I went on, when I finally realized and, started believing that it was working was when I went on a trip to DC and didn't take my cannabis and the seizure started.
Oh, no.
Again, so I had breakthrough seizures, and one of them, I ended up breaking my hand from it, but I flew back without having my hand checked out and didn't get it checked out for a couple of days later. But it was when I came back that I was like, I still had some cannabis oil, so I took it. And the seizures like that I had been having the whole weekend stopped. And I was like, okay, I guess this was working. And that's when I started switching around how I view cannabis and started researching about it in a different way. Like when I was first on the cannabis and when I was starting it, I would look, like how is this going to harm, my brain, or what side effects will this give me and things. So I switched the way I would talk about it. I switched the way I would search about it. Like, can cannabis, help with this? What are the benefits of cannabis and things like that? And ended up using it for pain control after my broken hand instead of instead of using any pain meds.
So I had to write this down because I did a fat dab before the show, and I wanted to remember to ask you this. Also, our producer is reminding me because him and I were talking about it. So when you started cannabis, okay, as a medicine, what did you start there? Like, did you just jump straight into smoking it? Did you try edibles first? Like, what route did you take?
So at first it was a high CBD RSO.
Right.
And then right away I switched to tinctures. Um, that were they were already pre-filled capsules that were made with tinctures. Um, so like once I started with the tinctures, once I knew what my dose was, I moved to the capsules that were already filled. So I did play around,
Okay.
like with the tincture dosages at first.
So actually, I'm really one to, if I don't like the way that something's working out, scrap it and try again, right? So we're just going to get rid of the W's for today because I'm more involved with this. I'm sure you could appreciate that. You know what I mean? No one likes that gauntlet, but let's go back to the first day of RSO. Let's go back to sitting at the table. I want to know where you were. I want to know the first moment you lifted it to your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Put me in your mindset at that time. What was going through your head?
Oh, I can't believe I'm using a drug.
I laugh, I jest, but at the same time, it's we're fighting against that. We both are, so we can laugh at it now. But at the same time, why was that? Was it because of, like, I don't know, the Dare program?
Basically, yeah, that was a big part of it. I was in the Dare program. Like most of us have gone through the Dare program, and it was always, like the cannabis. This is what it's going to do to you for the rest of your
Mm-hmm.
life, and like, this is how it harms you. So like with the Dare program and just the way that it's viewed on TV and
The
everywhere, or at
stigmas.
least the
Mm-hmm.
stigma surrounding it. And I was like, and I don't want to be on a drug.
I feel
Um,
that. I feel
it
that.
was that's how it was. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be on a drug, but
Mm-hmm.
my seizures, we tried everything. Like I said earlier, we tried everything to control my seizures. We tried, a brain surgery. We tried a device implant, and I was on daily medications. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I'd get breaks in between my seizures, but sometimes, I'd have
Right.
multiple a day. And with all of that, with like, my seizures and all the surgeries and everything, that caused like, delays and a lot of things. Like
Right.
high school, I graduated 4 years late. Getting my associate's degree took 4 years. And during that
But you
time,
did it. But you
I ended
did
up
it.
doing it. During
Yeah,
that
that's the
time,
thing,
I had 3 surgeries during
Mm.
when I was getting my associate's degree, and so it was always, like trying to balance out doing
Mhm.
what I wanted to do, and because my goal at that time was to become a neuropsychologist.
Okay.
So I mean, like that came because I was always interested in the brain, and just having epilepsy
Right.
made that more interesting. So that was my goal. But of course, the seizures, and sometimes even if the seizures were somewhat under control, it was all the side effects from the medication that played an
Right.
effect into what I was able to do and not do.
Oh man, that's so. What age did the seizures start? I do know that you may have said it before, but I didn't catch it. What
Um,
age did they start?
so I had my first tonic-clonic I was 12 years and 9 months,
Mm.
but I was officially diagnosed a month after my 14th birthday.
Okay. So you didn't really know what was going on in that time
Yeah, I mean
from
they
the first
knew like
seizures
that.
diagnosis.
Yeah, that the like my doctor knew that I had the seizure, but we didn't know if I was, because it was only at one seizure, so we didn't know like what else was going on. And for me to be diagnosed, because I also used to have like really severe migraines that caused dizziness and
Hmm.
things. Um, so I wasn't placed on medication right away. We just documented all the dizzy episodes and things like that I was having, which later we learned were partial seizures. It was
Right.
until my second tonic-clonic at the age of like a month after my 14th birthday, that I was officially diagnosed with
Mm.
epilepsy and started on medication.
And so then, working through, I say the struggles and the ups and downs and the roller coaster that is pills, trying to figure out what works. They're very apt to throw 15,000 things at you, but when one thing's works, they're like, yeah, but just in case, take these other two just in case. And then you find out later after some reading, and know what you're reading, that those pills are actually very, bad mixed together. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? At all. And it's like, it's funny because, like, I had a friend, a really, really good friend who was epileptic. She was on a
Yeah,
medication.
I'm
Sorry.
yeah, can I do not, I mean, I should have told you this before, but I do
Mhm.
not like the word epileptic. So
Okay. So
we
what
say
what machine we use?
Person with epilepsy.
Person with epilepsy. Sorry. I know a person with epilepsy. I apologize.
No,
Um, she struggled for a long time. You know, she didn't really know what was happening. They didn't know. They didn't have any answers for her. And so finally, you know, like yourself, she got a hold of a doctor that really sat down and listened to her and looked at the problem and whatever, you know, magic happened there. And she started getting really good treatment. Came around a corner of her life, and you and I had talked before the show about your driver's license. She lost her driver's license, so it made her job really hard, or her life really hard. And so lucky for Uber, she could get around to work and stuff. She started using cannabis, and she's been seizure free going on 2 years now.
awesome.
So that's amazing. You know, I've heard of this story before and I've seen it before, and I definitely wanted to tell her about. I tell you about her story. You know, she's not really into, you know, going to any of the rallies, but she wants to be a part of that now. And so with that, I would like to, you know, kind of make an introduction so you can kind of help her, you know, just be among her people, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, kind of support a cause, like, you know, definitely be behind something and backing it, man. Like, you guys will hit it off and start making fun of me in tandem. And then, no, all right, that was a bad idea. Can we just forget all that? No, I was kidding. She's real sweet. You'll like her. You'll like her. That's insane, man. That's absolutely insane. And I don't just say that to kind of move the conversation forward. That's not the point. The point is, I can't tell you what it's like to have felt that, because unfortunately, you know, that's never happened to me, you know. But I can say this, like, cannabis also it helped save my life. So that's the one thing that we do share in common, and some other views of the world. I also want to point out that, or rather, I have a question, if you don't mind. Do you feel that, you know, between the ages of 12 and 14, and then living, you know, with this your life, do you feel like you were robbed of some of your childhood?
I mean, look, like with the way my parents raised me, and they gave me, like, you know, they made sure that I was able to participate in a lot of opportunities. I'd say that
Mm-hmm.
it caused delays in the things that I wanted to do, and it, you know, but you know, just having like my parents and the rest of the family support helped with you know, not feeling a lot of that. But
Right.
it's like I wish, you know, that this had not been so stigmatized like so early on, because I wonder what I would have done had I not had I not had to go through all of that and been able to, you know, uh, go through my life like the way I had wanted it, and, you know, go to school at the time and
Right.
not have so much delays. But then again, I think about it, if I had started cannabis like early on, and it was just, you know, another one of the medications, then I wouldn't be in the roles that I would, you know, be in today, because like what prompted me to start
Right.
speaking up about it and being an activist is that, like, you know, this is something that was so scary and was so stigmatized all of my life, and ended up being the thing that gave me my life, and allowed me, you know, to pursue so many things, and, you know, start thinking about things in a different way. So I look at it as, you know, like, yes, it would have helped with not having the seizures and, you know, like the injuries and everything early on, but
Right.
at the same time, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Oh, dude, I love that. I love everything about that. If that's not inspiring, you know, cheers to that, man. I'm so, yes, I love that story so much. I'm sitting here trying to think of, like, you know, using my new rolling tray and like gonna break up and smoke a joint. I can't even pay attention. I'm just like, I'm so into the story. I'm so captivated is the word that I want to use. It's not the best, but it's the word I'm gonna use for now. Um, I want to get to in a moment, shifting gears from, you know, having this happen to you in your adolescence to almost now, you know, and the things that you've been in, because like I told you, seen your name and your face everywhere. I've heard about your reputation truly does precede you, you know, and honestly, it sounds like a person that I would be able to pull a little bit of influence and strength from. It's all about that vibe, right? You know, there's a message to this, you know, cannabis being a healer, you know, cannabis helping and things of that nature. This should have never been made illegal. You know, we need to kind of destigmatize this. It's all about educating and an awareness of this. You know, I dare you to listen to us like that. Anyways, little jab back at you. Dare means drugs are really expensive. That's really what that acronym meant. So learn that, kids. Learn that. I'm kidding. If there's kids listening, do not listen to this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. But that's the
But
point of it.
there are
Sorry.
kids listening. Look,
I mean, there's
you
not kids listening.
yeah,
If there are kids listening, it's fine. But there is an age thing on YouTube. We made sure because it is talking about cannabis. Some states it's 18, some states it's 21. So if you are listening, you're not supposed to be. Shame on you. Shame on you. Don't listen if you're a kid. Real quick, we have a question from Scott. Scott asks, "What is the best form someone with epilepsy can consume to help them, in your opinion?"
I mean, what I found the best was taking capsules. Just because like when I want something that's fast acting, I'll either use a vape or the tincture, just because
Okay.
those absorb into your body faster. But I found making capsules, it takes longer for your body to digest it, but it has a longer effect. So, um, uh, that's what I found helpful. And then I tell people, if you're just starting out, to get something where you can play around with your dose. Like, my dose is not the same as somebody else's dose. Like, I did, like,
Right.
played around with the tinctures to figure out what my dose was, and now that I know it, that's when I just fill capsules up with how much I need. So I usually tell people, especially with epilepsy, to start off with something high CBD, and then if
Okay.
you want, start introducing the THC, because
Okay.
like with me, the CBD did help a lot in reducing, the seizures and everything. But to help with everything, with the pain and a lot of the issues, and to keep that seizure control going, I needed the THC. But some people are fine with just the CBD on its own. So cannabis can be very individualized. That's why I tell people, start with just a low dose and see, and make sure you document your doses
Right.
and how it's making you feel, so you can know how to adjust it from there.
So let me add on to that. Before we have another question, real quick, which actually ties into the question that I would like to ask. Um, Jeremy asks, "What would be the best for calming me down? I'm 65." Uh, yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I would say CBD. Like, CBD, it has helped my anxiety and everything. It's just, know where your CBD, especially if you're getting it from the internet, if
Right.
buying it online, just know where your CBD is sourced from, and like what other ingredients are in it. And don't be like, if the first one doesn't work out, or just
Don't give
don't
up.
be afraid to try, yeah, another source. Like, there's been some CBDs, or just some cannabis oils in general, that have worked really great for some people, and for others it didn't. um Everybody is individual,
Hmm.
so just try, and go slow. Some people will start off like with high doses.
Right.
You may not need this, so that's why I like, tell people, that's another reason why I like tinctures, because you can play around with your dose better than you can with edibles and other things.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I look at it like I've heard so much, healing properties about, specifically in this case, Rick Simpson oil, RSO. From cancer patients, epilepsy people, neuropathy from diabetics, all kinds of just healing, positive, amazing things. And to think back, to think back, what's up, Anda? How you doing, bud? To think back to, let's say, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. So before Hash Bash is 50th year, okay? The appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, he just subbed. He's 123rd. What's up? Yeah, 123, man. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. But to think back, back in, let's say, the 1940s or 1950s, where cannabis was absolutely 100% illegal. It just became illegal. It was the new hot trend to pull people over for, and to break up parties and frats and all that stupid shit. Anyway, there was, like, they threw the book at you. People went to prison for having this. Well, my question is this: let's think back to, like, the 1800s and stuff. Did they use it for medical reasons? Yeah. As a matter of fact, it was an act. The United States had a patent on it all those years that it was illegal.
Yeah.
So what
And
are they not telling us? You understand?
yeah, and one of the patents that that's the U.S. has on cannabis is, U.S. patent 6630507. which
Not
talks
good at
about
all.
the healing properties of cannabis, yet they have it as a Schedule 1 with no medical benefits. So that's, you know,
How that's
um,
contradictory.
yeah, exactly. That's contradictory. I mean, look, when we talk about people using cannabis, we're not saying, oh, everybody go out and use cannabis, but we're saying that it should be made legal to, so, for if it's made legal, there can be, proper research done about
Mhm.
it, and we can start seeing what else we can utilize it for. I mean,
So let me cut in right there. Proper research. I know firsthand accounts, and I can't say anything else, but I do know that they are doing research on it. That I can tell you.
yeah,
Okay.
that
I
there
do
is
know. Yeah.
research.
And I love that. I love that. But we need more.
Mhm.
That's where I was getting with that. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. We need more. Like right now, we have a lot of studies, of people um, using it and what's helping them with, but definitely needs more research, because the more we can unlock, about the plant, and the more we can learn about it, the more we can utilize it for all the different things.
So Jerome commented, Unda had a few things he was just agreeing, and then he was like, certain places made it illegal before the USA as well. Yeah, they did. A lot of that with U.S. influence and politics and wanting to be like us. A lot of mimicking back then. And then there's other stories too, but that's really my general concept of the entire outlook then. But then Jerome asked another question. He goes, I do the gummies and smoke bud because it seems to work. Do you know of any brand that's better than one another? That's a very good question, Jay.
I mean, as far as like edibles, one of the ones that I like is Wana gummies. Those are pretty good. I like their dosages, and just their products in general. I'm trying to remember the other names of some of the edibles. Um, I honestly cannot remember the name of like the edibles right now. Um,
It's all
but
good. It's all good.
but yeah, but I say, just try a different selection,
Right.
and just, the best way to figure out what's working and what's benefiting you the most is documenting it. One of the really good ways to document it is through the Relief app. They have a really good app where you can, put each dose and what you're using it for, and uh, what you're using it for, and how much you take, and
Mhm.
and how it made you feel. So that's a good way, like especially if you're just starting out and you don't know what you're doing or which ones are helping you. Doing that helps it.
Undell was saying that Madagascar made it illegal before any other country, and that there was he put a link up in the comments, guys, if you want to go check that out. But it said the first modern cannabis prohibition was in Egypt in 1800. And but that was fake news under the French colonial rule of Napoleon's army. And then he asked, "What's modern?" I'm not sure what that question pertains to. But then he goes, "Madagascar made it illegal before any other country." And then there was a Muslim ruler that banned, people that couldn't eat it. So lot of cover up, y'all. A lot of cover up from something that's not curing us. From epilepsy to xenophobia. Ask me what that is. I don't know. I made it up. But anyways, it's really helping us across the board, kind of either take ourselves out and give us a timeout, for like a mental health break here and there, or it's literally helping our bodies because we have an endocannabinoid system. With that, I would like to ask, so with RSO, strains, do they matter? Like as far as like terpene profiles or anything like that? Because isn't it just like
I To some people, I mean, I just recently started paying more attention to the terpenes and things like that, and I think like once I start, if I decide to like start growing and making my own, that's definitely something that I'll pay more attention to.
okay?
Um, but for now, I mean, I just look at the oil itself, like what ingredients are in it, like what's the ratio, like CBD to THC. Like during the day, I use a high CBD, low THC tincture, and then at night I use a 1-to-1.
Okay.
And yeah, there are some strains specifically, like, that have helped a lot of people, but for me, they didn't help.
Right.
Like Charlotte's Web was one of the strains that, like everybody was like, use that. I tried it, it didn't. I did
It's
better with
unfortunate.
Anaconic number 4. So,
Okay.
everybody's different. Like that strain has helped a lot of people, but it's not going to work for
Mhm.
everybody.
And that's just it. Different strokes for different folks is something that I agree with all the time. I've found people that they have to yeah. Madagascar apparently has some wild, crazy history. It looks like Undoes doing a little bit of internet searching. Jeremy was said the plan was here before any of us. The government has decided what's good for us. I mean, that's very true. Not CBD, right? Rick Simpson is absolutely real THC medicine. Absolutely. Um, so many questions about Rick Simpson. I do know people that make it. I know that they make very good Rick Simpson. Um, my journey personally can't say that I've had too much Rick Simpson. I remember having it once, but it was way too much, and so obviously, like I wasn't used to it, and so like it was kind of crazy for me that first day. But like, I'm not gonna let that kind of deter my thoughts on what this possibly could do for me. But I know that if shit gets worse for me, I know it's there. I like that crutch. I like that mental crutch. But that's the thing. Like, I can't just jump. You know what I'm saying? I just started doing dabs. I was a joint smoker. I was, like I in a bowl, in a bong. I didn't care what I was shoving in there because I knew I lit it on fire. That just was me, And so that's the thing, y'all. That's called combustion. When that happens, there's so many terpenes that you're burning off that your body doesn't get to receive to kind of help you in whatever ails you. But speaking of what ails you, we need to go back and kind of, know what you're trying to fix. Okay. Medicate appropriately, know what you're smoking. Again, back to your point, reputable sources. You understand? Because there's so much, and I've heard it called many things, but my favorite is hot dog water out there. If you're gonna vape something, know who made the damn thing. First and foremost, don't just scoop it up, screw it in, and go for broke. You don't really that a lot of people were putting what was it, vitamin E in these a couple of years ago.
Yeah, vitamin E acetate.
Yeah, and it was like it's killing people. You know, make sure that that's not in your shit. That's not that
Yeah.
hard. You
And,
know,
and and that doesn't mean that just rely on dispensaries. There's a lot of
correct.
caregivers, and that are able to do this stuff. It's just you yourself. You need to know, how they make them and what they make, and what's good for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Undove is saying he heard a 50-50 CBD, the THC ratio one was good for breast cancer. Yo, look into that more. Like, yeah, look into that more and report back to me on that, dude. I want to know that answer. And then he's telling us he's still talking. Let's see, history of Madagascar. He's going deep, man. He's going. Yo, you sure you're not on the dark web right now? The dark web. And now we know all about Madagascar. All right, dude. Yo, real talk. Direct message us here at Deliciously Dope Studios. That's we're gonna send you a T-shirt for that. So let us know what size. We'll send you a T-shirt for that. By the way, we have T-shirts now if y'all want them. He gets a T-shirt for that because I didn't know shit about Madagascar. I knew a few things. Look, he done it for us. There we go.
I,
Thank you, thank you,
all,
thank you.
all I knew about Madagascar was the movie, the cartoon movie.
Exactly, which was amazing, by the way. Yo, penguins for the win. What? Like, yes, I want my penguins to be super agents. Yeah, who doesn't? And like ninjas when they have to be, right? Oh man, I love it. But I did have a quick question. So are you strictly, so you were saying RSO obviously, and then a few like gummies here and there. Is that your only, I want to say, cannabis diet, or are there other things that you're privy to, or things of that nature?
Well, yeah, I mean, so it's the RSO I haven't used in a long time. It's really the tinctures that I'm mostly on.
Okay.
Yeah, so for primarily for my use, it's the tinctures, and then for something fast acting, I mean, if I'm someplace where I can't vape, I'll just empty like part of the capsule under my tongue for something fast acting, and then swallow the rest of it to give me something more longer lasting. That's if I can't vape.
Right.
Or like I use the pure ratio tablets. Those are also fast acting, so that's good. So it is
I've
a mix.
actually never heard of those. What are those?
Um, so they are like sublingual tablets um, that you just put under your tongue, and
Really? Are
yeah,
they fast acting?
yeah, they're pretty fast acting. So they're easy because I can just usually put one in like my mint pack or so, like with the mints and carry it around or anything like that. And they
Right.
have different ratios. Um, what was I gonna say?
Different ratios.
Yeah, so you're able to wait, sorry, the pure
You're all
ratios
right.
are the tincture, I mean the patches. I
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember the name of the sublingual tabs. Um but yeah, the pure ratio, another thing that I use is patches.
Okay.
So those are the ones from pure ratio, especially like when I'm traveling places. I mean, it's
The
not the same
transdermal.
effect. Yes, the transdermal
Right.
from pure ratio. It's not the same as like ingesting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it does, it's just something to have on me when I am going places. And then
And
like
so when you travel, like I know inside Michigan's one thing, but when you travel to places with your cannabis, you're a card carrying medical patient, correct?
mhm.
Okay, so I want to make that apparent, people. I want that to be known, obviously, but I want that to be known. Recreational is legal here in the state of Michigan. Um, at the same time, it's just better to it's better to have the med program and take part in it, because guys, it's there for a reason. It's there to help people that can't help themselves and things of that nature. Plus, let's face it, it's helped us get where we're at today. um, but yeah, no, I do wonder, like, if you're traveling, are you worried about any kind of issues or anything of that nature?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
But I mean that's why like when I do travel, I usually take a higher dose of THC. I mean CBD. Sorry, not the
okay.
THC. So that's when I'll keep a CBD patch on, and I'll take like a higher dose tincture with me, um, because it's risky to travel with the THC.
Right.
But I know like I cannot be without the cannabis, so I'll still take the CBD with me.
Okay.
And use a patch, like that's why I'll use a patch as a backup and keep another patch on hand.
I get it. I like that. So there are a lot of people out there that I've already heard of kind of working on their own transdermal patches, like, making their own liner, their own blends, or whatever have you. If I'm going to a store to buy a transdermal patch, tell me what I'm looking for. Like, describe it to me, you sell it to me. You know what I mean? Because I've never used one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested because, like, let's face it, if I got to fly somewhere and they got these patches, we're gonna be good.
Yeah, so one of the ones that I use the most is the pure ratios. They have ones that are last 96 hours, and the first time I used them was for localized pain. So
Okay.
instead of like putting a topical, I put a patch on, and it helped some. So that, along with ingesting the cannabis, like it did, it helped me. So for me, like I don't know exactly if the patches. I mean, I know the patches do not work like the tinctures or like the edibles or anything like that because you're not ingesting it. But for
Right.
me, it's more about like when I am traveling, it's more about like the anxiety
Mhm.
of just having it, like not knowing if I'll get a seizure or anything like that. So just having that small dose on me at the time, it just lessens my anxiety.
I absolutely love that. And I want to continue more on that. But real quick, Jerome's comment's been sitting there for a little bit. Sorry, Jay. He said he's on Vicodin 750 E's now. I can't get it. What else am I going to do? Um, well, I mean, there's a lot more to that, and we're not, doctors or anything, bud. So we really can't comment on that. But what I can suggest is take it to some forums on the internet and look up some holistic things for you to try and ease the pain or whatever issues you're going through. Without knowing more, bud, we really can't make any more comments. But at the same time, like, we're not doctors, so We really can't tell you what to do about your Vicodin or anything, but we are cannabis users and advocates, and I can tell you that depending on what you're trying to heal, bud, first and foremost, yes, get off the Vicodin, absolutely. That doesn't I've seen that do more harm than good in my life. But kind of know what you're trying to heal, bud. Then Google that, and that should kind of lead you down this little rabbit hole of cannabis, if you will, and enjoy your ride. Enjoy your ride. You know what I mean? Smoke a joint before you do it. I got Unda back here just firing off all kinds of like Madagascar facts. You guys jump to the comments and read those. I feel like if I pop those up, it's just going to cover us up on the screen. Plus, I kind of want to move on to another set of questions, if you will. So, when you first came into using cannabis, to cure your epilepsy, okay? How did what we've already talked about, like how it happened and things of that nature. Did you have to operate illegally before it became legal to cure your medical condition?
No, when I started it, we already had the medical program in Michigan.
Okay.
So yeah, so my doctor filled out the application for me to get my card, and once I got my card, that's when I went to the dispensary.
Okay. Now, are you
yeah.
against people who smoke flower? Obviously not. I mean, would you smoke a joint? Like if we met up or something, COVID friendly?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I was like, here, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it took me almost a year after I started the cannabis before I smoked.
Okay. Do you have a favorite? I'll call it a dry strain in that case. So a favorite strain of flower that you smoke?
Not really, no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like it's. I mean, yeah, there are some that like just the smell of them or the I'm guessing either because of the differences in THC and CBD or the terpenes or something that I just didn't like. But in general, I mean that's I say my smoking is mostly the recreational part of me. It's usually when I'm in with friends and things. I mean, obviously right now with COVID that hasn't been happening, but that's usually
right
when I stick with that. But vapes are something like I use often, more than the smoking, like along with the tinctures and capsules.
So let me ask you real quick. Have you ever, and Jerome said he had to take off. So yeah, peace, Jerome, man. I appreciate you stopping by, brother. Have you ever kind of gotten to like look around at Delta 8? Have you tried Delta 8 yet?
No, that's the new THC.
Well, it's not actually THC.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have tried it. I honestly, I don't think so.
And so when you say you vape, do you have a 510 battery like this?
Whereas.
Yep, that's perfect. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get you a Delta 8 cart. I'll get it to you to try. Okay. Gelato, how's that?
Okay.
All right, cool. Because I would like to know, because Delta 8 is like a lot of people have deemed it quote unquote diet weed. Okay, because you have CBD, you get all of those effects. You know what I'm saying? And then you have Delta 8, which is 0.03%, I believe, or 0.3% THC, just enough to where it's not, it's not psychoactive, so you can get high without the anxiety. I want to know if you would like it.
Okay.
I love that. So tell me how you got to be the VP of the Motor City Normal. That's just, how did that happen? Were you just like, we're doing this now?
No, I became involved with Normal once we started collecting signatures for the legalization. I was part of the legalization.
Activism.
Yeah, so it was through activism. We started like the Motor City chapter. I mean, me and my friend Colin, who I met at Hash Bash, we're thinking of starting like a Dearborn one, but then we ended up joining the Motor City chapter, and it was recently once we were talking about the board and fixing it up that I became VP. But I've been active with them for a few years. And for anybody that's interested, we hold our meetings the first Saturday of the month, unless there's something big happening on that Saturday, like during Hash Bash, we delay it to the next to the second Saturday.
Which is
But they
fair.
usually,
Which is fair.
yeah, we gotta give time for half bash. So
They were here first.
so that's when we delay it to the second Saturday. It's usually at 11. Right now during the pandemic, we're doing everything via Zoom, but you can just
Okay.
go to our Facebook page, and I usually post the link for the Zoom the night before.
And one more time, what's that Facebook page for those who weren't listening and smoking weed right now?
Motor City Normal.
Motor City Normal,
Motor
y'all.
City Normal.
We just had Brad Forrester on the show. That's my boy, man. That was a great time. And then he hung around after the show, and we just got super baked. He's a great guy. What up, Brad? How you doing, baby? I love that. So you're a medical assistant, huh?
Well, I mean, I haven't gotten a job yet, and I haven't practiced really in it. So when I was doing my medical assistant, I kind of went through something. I got really scared and stopped the cannabis. I had been almost 4 years seizure free at that point, and I was off all my medications. When I was doing the school to get my medical assistant certification, I had a teacher that continuously scared me about being on the cannabis. And then I ended up at an urgent care that was also a drug testing place. So I became really paranoid and scared to be on the cannabis. So I made the mistake to stop it just from all the anxiety, and that caused a really severe seizure, a breakthrough seizure, and I hadn't had one in almost 4 years.
Oh man, that kind of reset everything, didn't it?
Yes, and the seizure came with a lot of damage. Like I had neck pain for a while. I also damaged my maxillary jaw. I lost a tooth, and we've been been working on it for 2 years to get my teeth fixed, and I finally got the dental implants a couple weeks ago, so finally have teeth.
So I was gonna say that, if you don't mind, because there's a few pictures, you kind of like, hey, let me get a vibe for this person. And I was like, all right, cool. And so like, we have our promotional pictures that we use, and you sent one to me, and I was like, where's her teeth? She's not smiling. I was like, I was like, I know she got a gorgeous, I've seen these pictures. You got a gorgeous smile, girl. You really do, because you got that umph behind it. You feel me? You're like, no. We doing this now. You feel me? And that's how it is. We need more of that. We need more of that. But I saw the picture where you lost your tooth. You want to, that was from a seizure, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was, I mean, the last thing I remember was I was at, the office, and I think I was inputting patient data, but like it was the third morning. I mean, I was still taking my night dose of cannabis, but it was the third morning that I had stopped. Third morning after stopping like my morning dose, because I was trying to go slow on getting off.
Right.
But it was really, I just couldn't handle the thought of it was just paranoid. I was just really scared about being on cannabis while I was doing my externship. So yeah, I had a breakthrough seizure. I woke up in the hospital coughing up blood and teeth bits. That was not a fun time. And
It doesn't sound like fun.
and in the hospital, I had several more seizures. They ended up stopping the next morning after I took the cannabis. So that's what ended up stopping them, was the cannabis. So because of that, and just like everything that happened with the medical assistant, like where I was doing my externship, that caused a lot of anxiety, and that I haven't gotten a job as a medical assistant yet. I mean, that's one thing I'm hoping to do, but it's just every time I sit down to apply, I just go through that trauma of waking up coughing up blood and teeth.
Anybody that needs a medical assistant right now, my girl's looking. Hit me up. I can vouch for her. She cool. No, seriously, like I actually do know people in that field, and they're probably, I don't know if they watch the show or not. I can't condone that. You know what I'm saying? They're in this like paradox right now. They're like, well, shit, I like all these things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
like,
so
right now I'm trying to apply, because right now, because it's been 2 years, I have to recertify, so I'm studying to recertify, especially since I haven't been practicing for the past couple years, and then I'll decide, if I actually want to go through and apply and continue with the medical assistant, or if I want to do something else. I mean, really, I became a medical assistant because like I told you earlier, I always was interested in the medical field, but I don't want to I don't want to stay in the medical field anymore, because right now I have another passion that I'm following.
Get
Um,
it. Get
but
it.
but I became a medical assistant because I wanted a better understanding of the medical system and how things happen, um, because I understand it from a patient perspective, but I wanted, a different perspective, because what I
You wanted to kind of help shape rules and regulations
yeah,
around healthcare,
exactly,
drug
like
policy. Yeah,
that's what
I
I
feel that.
ultimately want to be, is public health and policy. That's what I want to go into.
Ooh,
Um,
I love that.
yeah,
I
so that
love that.
that will allow me, to keep, the policy, and just making things better, and at the same time stay. It's good for politics to stay involved in that field as well. So that's my goal. It's public health and policy.
It's interesting how the two walk hand in hand, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. Um, and it's your hope and my hope as well to kind of help advocate behind the medicinal uses of cannabis. You know, people, there's still a stigma. There really is, and it's for those of that me here locally, I do have deliciously dope face masks. Some people have them as well. We're making more of them. I'll wear it out in public and I'll just go like, cause I just took a dab in the car, not driving, hit my vape pen real quick. I'm getting out of the car, it's parked. Everything's legal, man. You feel me? I could take a real quick dab before I walk in the store. That's legal, man. I cough a little bit and then she's like, hey, COVID. And I'm like, if you only knew, honey. No, 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 no. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like there is a stigma. There still is. Would she have said that if she was probably, 20 years younger? I don't think so. But she was part of that Reagan era, I could tell. They just had that vibe. Nothing against them, but they have that vibe. Just like I have that, cynical asshole vibe. The point is, stereotypes exist for a reason. But back to what I wanted to ask. So, being an advocate for cannabis and being, part of everything that you have your hands into, really being a part of this. Do you think that you would have done any of this if you would have never had a seizure?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, look, I say, like, this is what I say about the cannabis. Yes, I started it like so late, and but I think the reason I became an activist, and started speaking so public and so much about it, was like, okay, why did I have to wait all these years to be able to try it? And so my activism is dependent on the seizures, and
Hmm.
trying cannabis like so late is so no, I don't think, I mean, yeah, like, just having the epilepsy and being on the cannabis is what shaped,
Hmm.
and helped pave the path to where I am going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's, you know, it's from, and I say this term, to apply it to both your situation and mine, to show you the common ground a little bit. It's from the devastation that was caused from what we went through that, we've found solace in a sense. We found some peace. We found what it's like to be normal again, if you will, for whatever, um, pun you want to use there. But for the sake of argument, I before when my story with drinking, I was a chef, man. That was it. We lived that rock star life. We had that mentality, you know. We thought we were better than everybody. And then when you look at the paycheck, you're like, oh shit, like I could buy us all one beer. Then I'm out, guys. I'm out, and so you have that very pirate lifestyle, okay. And with pirate lifestyles comes a lot of let's see, heavily drinking, using the Lord's name in vain, profanity, alcohol abuse. There's a lot of substances, you name it. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, Cocoa Puffs. That's how we did it. Yes, back then I did abuse cannabis recreationally because guess what? I didn't give a shit. I just knew that if you smoked a joint after when you had a hangover, it went away, which meant the faster that went away means you can keep drinking again. Little did I know, and what I learned from that is the fact that the body has an endocannabinoid system. It don't have a Jameson or Jack Daniels or whiskey system. You feel me? That's why the body kicks it out as quick as it does. That's why you could drink, have a piss test, and it's out of your system, the next day. Okay. Whereas with cannabis, maybe not so much, but your body wants to hang on to that so much. And, the things that you're working towards, it really lays, tribute to the plant. It really lays tribute to the trials and tribulations that you've been through yourself and others like you. All you want to do is help. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to do. And so honestly, yeah, help each other. Just stay like motivated to keep moving forward, because here's the thing. When you lose at life, the moment you give up. And when you give up on things, dude, you're not just giving up on yourself. You're giving up for those around you. You're giving up for those people who are pushing you forward. You're giving up on everybody. I don't do that. Don't be that asshole. Don't be that dick. You know what I'm saying? Smoke a joint, calm down, tell somebody, hey man, I'm kind of feeling down. Like, what do you got for me? 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, yo, hit this bong, tell me your troubles. That's it. Because I would rather hear 5 minutes of you bitching about your life, and then you're like, you know what? Fuck them lights. I've been waiting to burn them candles. You understand? Like, you're like, 5 minutes. It ain't shit. It's so small. I would rather do that than spend 5 minutes reading your obituary. All right. So help me remain vain and reach out to me, reach out to us, reach out to anyone that you need to when you're having those mental health issues, especially right now in COVID, y'all. This shit sucks. I can't wait for live events again. When can we? I haven't had a high five in I don't know how long. That's not cool. It's not cool. If you watch Key and Peele and the guy slap hands, that guy, I feel like I'm just scratching my neck. Like, yo, dude, I'll give you $100. You slap my hand right now. Ain't nobody gonna know. Ain't nobody gonna know. I promise you, it's clean. Just, that's it. I missed that slap hand. Don't slap ass without consent. But the point is, slap hand. If you know the person, fine. I'm just saying. That human contact, yeah, it gets to me. And then you've got all kinds of other stuff going on. It's good to see someone like you kind of rise from that devastation. Back to my point. A phoenix from the ashes, if there ever was one. Maybe purple, because purple seems to be your color. I dig it. I vibe it.
Yeah.
Probably wrong at the shade.
Purple has always been my favorite color, and it was also the color for epilepsy awareness, so that works out.
Yeah, it's also my mom's favorite color, so you win.
Cool. See, she knows the colors.
Except for right, she wouldn't call it purple though. She'd be like, "Hey, that's graple." I'm like, "Sure." My mom, I love that woman, I really do. But no, it's really it's amazing to see what you're doing with how you're doing it. You understand? Because there's a lot of politicians and advocates, speakers such as yourself. And correct me if I'm wrong, you decided to run for a delegate position.
Yeah. I ran for a DNC delegate, and that was the newest position that I became or got elected to.
Right. So you got into that. You've got this position where like you have this voice. Do you feel a sense of responsibility, to lay true to the things that you say? Obviously you do, but do you feel like, okay, I guess I can bend the rules here? Do you ever have those like dualities in your life?
No,
while being
I mean, once I became like, a public speaker on the cannabis, I felt it was because I know people like, sometimes will rely or look at those. I felt it was my responsibility to try to put the best stuff or the most reliable stuff out there.
I like that.
So that's why, when I speak about cannabis, or when I post articles and things, I try to like, find sources that are reliable, that have like, things backing them up. I mean, that doesn't always happen, but that's what I try to stick to. And posting educational articles, and that's what's going to change people's minds, and that's what's going to give them a different point of view. And one other thing I really like about cannabis is that you don't have to be a person that uses it, whether it's for medical or recreational, to be, to want to learn more about cannabis. There's so many different ways that cannabis can be utilized. You can look at it from a racial justice issue that, minorities are the ones who
Mm-hmm.
are left in jail and things like that for cannabis. So if racial justice is something that you're passionate about, well, then, you can utilize the cannabis issue to see like how the war on drugs was, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
centered around people of color, and those are the ones who go to jail more often.
Mm-hmm.
Um, than others. If you want, you can look at it as if you are really into the environment, then you can look at like the components of hemp and how hemp can be utilized for plastic and a lot of things that are being put into the waste in our oceans, and it can help clean up the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh,
It can also save the soil that we've tarnished all these years
mhm.
through the means of phytoremediation.
Yeah, so like that's another
It's a
thing
big
about
word.
cannabis, that is that there's so many different ways. It's like it's not only, oh, just because I use it, like that's there's a lot of people who are in the cannabis movement
Mhm.
that don't utilize cannabis, but they're in it for
Absolutely.
the laws, or to change the things around it. And that's what I tell people. Like, just because you don't use it does not mean you can't get involved, or look at what it can be utilized for.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's not just, if people are just tuning in, if you're listening to this, don't think that you have to have something as serious as epilepsy or as serious as cancer to pull medical benefits from cannabis. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that there is a spectrum of cannabis products and cannabis practices and uses that spans an entire, what do you need to heal? And that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I should have just started with, really. If you have headaches, Google or look up strain specifics or terpene profiles and things of that nature for said headaches. That's what I meant. So know what you're trying to heal first, and then, of course, medicate responsibly. I mean, let's face it. This is the thing that you really should medicate responsibly. We've seen all been 21 and seen the ads for, all the beer ads on the it says drink responsibly. Nobody listened to that. We did the opposite of that. We drank in excess because of the United States. That's what we do. We do things in excess. So if you're going to do something in excess, smoke 2 joints instead of 1. You know what I'm saying? 2 for 10, 4 for 20. You know how it works. I can't thank you enough for coming on today's show. Seriously, I can't. If there's anything that we can do here at Deliciously Dope Studios, let us know. Anything you want us to help, share the videos that you guys are popping off, that's absolutely fine. Let us know how we can help you. We definitely want to take part of that. We got your back. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna work so much more on trying to get your name right. It's not even funny. So if I video no, I'm gonna. It's a thing now. It's a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a thing. I I will. I'll even listen to like Arabic dialect to try and hear that our role. Like, I'm serious. We're gonna do this. If I can't, I'll at least cook for you. Who knows? Both might happen. But again, thank you for literally everything that you do. It's amazing to see that there's people out there that are doing these things. They're putting these boots on the ground. They're going to these places and speaking up against this. They're standing against an injustice. That's my point, y'all. We've gotten this far. You really think that we're like, all right, we done? No, we're not done until it's done. We're not done
Yeah.
until there's some rights that have been wronged. We're not done until anybody and everybody, no matter who the fuck you are, can heal from this. That's what it is. That's what it is. We're United States, not some of us are cool United States. That was wrong. But the point is, we're united for a reason. And if you don't think that this plant has a history of getting the shit beat out of it, then you're either drunk and on the wrong show, okay, or you smoked way too much and you're playing devil's advocate. Those are really your only choices. It's really good to know, back to what I was saying, that somebody else is putting, again, boots in the ground and being a voice for people that don't have a voice. A voice for people that, let's say, can't speak. A voice for people that are in a certain generation. We're the same age. If you would have told me I would be having a conversation with someone with an extensive background such as yours, I would have been like, wait, and I'm smoking weed? Wait, shut up. How high was I? No, Shut up. You're drunk. Let's get drunk. You know what I'm saying? That's how that would have went down. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Like that's just how it happens. But thank you. Obviously these things are supposed to happen for a reason. People meet for a reason and things of that nature. Thank you for taking the time and sitting down and dealing with my ADD ass, and I appreciate you letting me go off script a little bit and kind of just, come up with my own questions. That's not easy for somebody. It's really not. And if there's any kind of, emotions that we stirred from that, I do apologize. Again, where I'm at, you know what I mean? I really hope that there's a few things that we can help fight for to change in Michigan. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Okay. If we had to give somebody a hint as to what those things may be, what would you tell them?
So, I mean, I think there's like, once again, depending on what part of, the side you want to be, there's still a lot of people that need education on what cannabis is and the medical benefits. One thing that I'm really involved in right now that, that we started along with, that so many different organizations started and are together is the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition. So in the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition, we have, the Last Prisoners Project, Michigan Normal, Motor City Normal are all part of it. The Cannabis Caucus, so Redemption Cannabis. So our mission is to, fix the wrongs that were made by cannabis being illegal. So the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition is working, to make sure that people are out of jail, that are still in jail for the plant. Like one of the things that we did, that the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition did was get the release of Michael Thompson out of jail. And we are, like if you want to get involved with that, you can go on our website and sign up to become involved and become part of the coalition.
That website one more time.
mifreedomcoalition.com.
You got it.
Yeah, so that's a really good way for people if they want to become involved, to do that. Also, look at your local normal chapters. I mean, I know right now Motor City is one of the ones that's active. There's the state chapter. Like you can go on the Facebook pages or Instagram and see like what stuff are being posted and how you want to get involved. Once again, for like the Motor City Normal, as I said earlier, we hold our meetings the first Saturday of the month. They are being held through Zoom right now. So yeah, stop by a meeting, sign up to become a member. Those are all things you can do. Join, if you are under the Michigan Democratic Party, join the Cannabis Caucus of the Michigan Democratic Party. We are also doing a lot of work. And the Young Dems of Michigan, we are also looking at, cannabis and how to talk about it more as the young demographic of that party.
Did y'all not just hear that? Like, that flex. I felt time and space move, girl. Like that Matrix just, ooh, get it. She's fierce and she's fun. I couldn't know a better person, and for that, I thank you.
Yeah, and just to give them a shout out, like if anybody does want to learn more about epilepsy or does have epilepsy and they want resources, the Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan is a really good place to check out. I'm very involved with them, and I've been a speaker like on their panels and such. And yeah, they have a lot of resources. They've even done panels about cannabis and epilepsy, and just like how to utilize it. And anybody that needs resources for their epilepsy or want to learn more, they have all of that on the website at epilepsymichigan.org. And you can also check out their Facebook page, Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan.
So just stay tuned to Everything Deliciously Dope. You're going to start seeing those and links on the website. I'll get with you after the show and make sure that we can get some links on there, because that's definitely something we want to support and help brand out and help get awareness to. Definitely. Quick take from that. Excuse me. Little dry mouth. Speak up, speak out. Okay? Hungry mouths get fed. You got to say something if you're hungry. We ain't you. You know what I'm saying? Speak up for what you believe in. Speak out for what you believe in, no matter what it is. If it in this case is something you're agreeing with, that's where you need to go. We'll have, let us know. We'll point you in the right direction. We're also not going to be jerks and be like, oh, you should come over to the dark side because we have cookies and Star Wars, which, all right. Don't offer that to a person that smokes weed because they're going to the dark side for sure. But the point here is we are there. They are there. And they're fucking killing it, y'all. They're making these moves that are world news right here in the murder mitten. Excuse me, Michigan. Sorry. Yeah.
Don't butcher my state's name.
Oh, listen, I'm from here too. There's parts of it where it's, I'm sorry. But no, seriously, y'all, she's killing it. Reach out to Normal, reach out to your local Normal chapters or the extended state. Let us know. We'll point you in the right direction. You're going to see more stuff coming from them. It's amazing to see the actions actually happen. So you got to give it to the current government because they're also, the ones that are helping this. Doesn't matter which side of the fence you're looking at. People are all in agreement to this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it makes sense. Why are you still in jail for something that's now deemed essential and it's curing people? That doesn't fucking make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So yes, there were injustices done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just cut them a check, help them out, like do something. And I think that the things that are happening as an example right now with Michael Thompson, he did, the home, he got the car, the new job. Oh, yes. That makes me feel good because if we can let's keep going. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep advocating for that. Let's keep helping people heal instead of, like just being like straight up outcast for it. Motivated stoners do exist, but with that, I say, if you want to be motivated, stay high, stay happy, but be noble. Be noble about it. Again, I want to say thank you to the guest today. We're going to try this one more time. Ready? There's a lot of pressure. Zahra. Is that good? Is that good? Like,
yeah,
on a scale from 1 to 10.
Saying the H's with the R, right? But it's close.
I'll work on it. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, there'll be many times to make fun of me about it. But no, again, thank you very much for coming on the show today. I appreciate it.
Thank you
oh
so
my
much
God. Like, that was an amazing. Thank you. I look forward to being able to help you, if I can, where I can. I want to be a part of it. Count me in, coach. Just remember, I'm fat and lazy from COVID. So like, maybe don't make me run a bunch yet, but I got you. I'll practice. I got you. But seriously, guys, speak up, speak out. Again, thank you to my guest today. Michigan Normal, y'all. Motor City Normal, more specifically in this case, epilepsy awareness. The Young Democrats of Michigan, come on. There isn't anything that you can't do. And you right here in front of us, you're sitting proof that, you can. You can. It doesn't matter who you are. You can. So right there's your idol, y'all. One of my friends, I'd call friends now. She's cool. I'm cool with it. So if she likes people like me, you might be better. But I'm kidding. All right. My tokers, my jokers, my smokers. I'm Chef Rodney 117. This has been another Deliciously Dope's Daily Chronicles. Thank you to our guests again today. Until then, we'll see you guys on the flip side, all right? All right. Peace, y'all. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Never thought you'd leave me here for